President Biden announcing today crushing new sanctions on Russia. The bold move coming exactly 1 week after the death of Putin opposition leader Alexei Navalny, and as the world marks 2 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The new restrictions targeting Moscow, its war machine, and those helping Putin evade existing sanctions. Leading us off this hour, our White House correspondent Selena Wang, also Patrick Reevell for us there in Kyiv. Selena, let's start with you. Biden spoke about these new sanctions a short time ago. What did he tell us?
Well, the president used this to once again condemn Putin's brutal war of aggression, and he also used it as an opportunity to hammer Congress to say that, look, time is running out, and for real change here, Congress needs to pass more aid to Ukraine, using it as a chance to blame and shame House Republicans. Take a listen to what the president said here.
But let me be clear. House of Representatives must pass the bipartisan national security bill. The bill provides urgent funding for Ukraine, and it passed overwhelmingly in the Senate. And there's no question, none. If the Speaker called for a vote in the House, it would pass easily today. Instead, they went on vacation.
And there you heard the president. He was criticizing House Republicans as the president announced that massive package of sanctions, the largest yet since the war began. But officials making clear that this can only slow Putin down. It can only slow his progress, but it won't stop him. In order for the tide of the war to change and for Ukraine to win this, Congress needs to act. And the goal of those sanctions is really threefold. One is to reduce Russia's revenues. Two is to cut Russia off from the supplies it needs to create those weapons in that war in Ukraine. And third, to try and close the loopholes that so far Russia has been able to use to evade the sanctions. There have already been sweeping sanctions in effect, but those existing ones have had a limited impact because Russia's been able to turn to other countries, including China and Iran. Kira.
All right, so Patrick, you're there in Ukraine, where the fighting is getting more fierce by the day. Tell us about these sanctions, and how do you see them making an impact, if at all?
Hi, Kira. Yeah, I mean, I think they do matter because, frankly, in the last 2 years, Russia has, to a great degree, been able to adapt to what were initially very heavy sanctions that caused a huge amount of disruption to the Russian economy and even to Russian daily life. But as Selena was saying, over the course of those 2 years, Russia has found many ways to get around them, mainly by using third countries. And, you know, some of the missiles that are landing here in Ukraine, Ukrainian officials say they find that there are Western components in them, components bought from Western manufacturers even, that have been shipped to third countries like Turkey, like Iran, like China, and then brought into Russia and put into these weapons. So it does matter that they're making these sweeping sanctions, that they're trying to tighten the net. But ultimately, the Kremlin, you know, is well used to sanctions at this stage. And as President Biden was saying, the thing that really does worry the Russians is American military support. That is where we've seen real pressure on Russia, where ultimately we've seen Putin's regime begin to feel pressure. For example, when we saw the mutiny against him by the Wagner Group's leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, just last summer, that was at a point when Russia was suffering huge losses and was feeling real pressure on the battlefield because, in part, of the weapon systems that the Ukrainians were using with to such effect. And so ultimately it's true that while sanctions are important, they shouldn't be downplayed too much. Ultimately, the real impact is military support. Kira?
All right, Selena Wang, Patrick Reevell, appreciate it so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.